The massive alien ship hung in the sky over New York City like a dark cloud. It was 3 miles long and shaped like a pointed spear. Smaller ships flew around it like angry wasps. People in the streets below pointed up and stared. Some ran. Some took pictures. All felt the same fear deep in their stomachs. Captain John Miller stood on the roof of the United Nations building with his hands behind his back. His face showed nothing, but inside he felt the same worry as everyone else. 20 years in Special Forces had taught him to hide his feelings. The president had picked him as Earth's military contact with the aliens. He watched as the first shuttle from the big ship flew down to land on the special pad built just yesterday. The shuttle door opened with a hiss. 6 tall figures walked out. They had purple-gray skin that looked like stone. Their eyes glowed yellow in deep sockets. The tallest one wore a cape made of some metal that moved like cloth. "Admiral Krazoth of the Zelnaga Confederation," said the translator in John's ear. The alien spoke in clicks and whistles. "We have studied your world for 3 of your years. We are ready to discuss terms." John stepped forward. "Captain John Miller, on behalf of Earth, welcome." He did not offer his hand. They had been told the aliens considered touching to be offensive. The alien admiral looked down at John. "Your species has potential, but you waste it." He waved a 4-fingered hand at the city. "You build impressive structures, yet you leave vast areas of your planet untouched." The meeting moved inside. World leaders sat across from the aliens, at a large round table. Maps of Earth appeared as holograms in the air. "These areas," Admiral Krazoth pointed to green sections covering the Amazon Congo Basin and Southeast Asian forests, "are unused. Wasted. We will take them for mining and processing." "Those are protected regions," said the Brazilian president. "Our rainforests produce oxygen, house millions of species." "Primitive thinking," interrupted the admiral. His yellow eyes narrowed. "On developed worlds, such areas are the first to be converted to productive use." John watched silently from his position against the wall. He had trained in those jungles, had lived, fought, and nearly died in them. These aliens had no idea what they were talking about. "The Zelnaga come from a desert world," continued the admiral. "We learn to use every resource. You hide behind trees and worship dirt." He looked around the table. "Your sentimentality for wild places shows your weakness." The meeting went on for hours. The aliens showed videos of their other conquered worlds, once green planets now covered in factories and mines. Species that had resisted were now slaves. Those who surrendered became partners, but still lost their best lands. "We require 40% of your surface area," said Admiral Krazoth at the end. "Primarily these jungle regions which you foolishly protect. You have 1 Earth month to agree and begin evacuations." "And if we refuse?" asked the U.S. president. The admiral's mouth formed what might have been a smile. "Then we begin pacification. Your weapons are primitive compared to ours. Your cities would burn first." When the aliens left, the room exploded in argument. Some wanted to fight, others to surrender. John stood quietly, thinking about what he had seen. "Captain Miller," called the president. "Your assessment?" John stepped forward. "They're strong, advanced, but there's something they don't understand." "What's that?" Major Lisa Carter stood at the back of the room as world leaders argued. The emergency meeting had been going for 6 hours now. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to launch all nuclear weapons. Neither would work, she knew. Lisa stepped forward when called upon. "The Zelnaga have technology we can't match in open battle," she said. Her voice was calm but strong. "But they have a weakness we can use." The room grew quiet. Lisa pointed to the map showing Earth's major rainforests. "These jungles they want? They're where our best soldiers train. I've spent 15 years in the 1st Terrestrial Defense Battalion. We specialize in fighting where most can't even survive." The defense secretary nodded. "Major Carter has more jungle combat experience than anyone in our forces." Lisa continued. "The aliens showed us videos of their other conquests. Did you notice? All desert or urban worlds, not a single forest planet. I believe they've never fought in dense vegetation." She pulled up images of the alien soldiers. Their armor is designed for open terrain. Those fins would catch on vines. Their weapons create heat that jungle humidity would affect. They're desert creatures fighting in what would be their version of hell. What are you suggesting? Asked the president. Let me build a team, the best jungle fighters from around the world. While the diplomats stall for time, we prepare a surprise in the very places they think we're weakest. 2 days later, Lisa sat in a secure underground room at Fort Bragg. Before her were files of the soldiers she wanted. She looked up as Captain John Miller entered. "Captain, thanks for coming," she said, standing to shake his hand. "Your plan has merit," said John. "I've been in those jungles. The aliens haven't." Lisa nodded. "I need your help selecting the team." They spent hours reviewing files. Sergeant Rick Howard, an expert in jungle traps and ambush tactics. Lieutenant Amy Brooks, who could move through dense forest without making a sound. Communications expert Jason White, who could build working equipment from natural materials when technology failed. "We'll need more," said Lisa. "But this is a start." On a Zelnaga ship orbiting Earth, Admiral Krazoth studied maps of the planet with his officers. "The humans are stalling," he said. "Their diplomats ask for more time, but they must know resistance is pointless." His second-in-command, Commander Vex, pointed to the large green areas. "Our scouts report many of their military bases are hidden in these vegetation zones. Should we target them first?" The Admiral made a sound like rocks grinding together. It was laughter. "Why waste resources? These jungles will be simple to conquer once we control their cities. Our thermal sensors can find any hiding humans, and our armor is impervious to their primitive weapons." "Some troops have expressed concerns about fighting in dense vegetation," said Vex. "Superstition. These are trees and plants, not weapons. The humans cling to these wild areas out of weakness. They lack the vision to properly use their world." Back on Earth, Lisa and her growing team had moved to the Amazon Combat Training Facility. Hidden deep in the rainforest, it was invisible from above thanks to natural cover and advanced camouflage. Rick Howard demonstrated a simple trap to the gathered soldiers. "The aliens rely on technology. We'll use the jungle itself against them." He pulled a vine and a hidden pit opened, lined with sharpened bamboo stakes. "No electronics to detect, no metal to scan for." Lisa watched as her team practiced moving silently through the undergrowth. They covered themselves in mud that would hide their heat signatures from alien scanners. They learned to use the calls of jungle birds and animals as signals. "They think our jungles are our weakness," Lisa told her team as night fell. "But every leaf, every tree, every insect and animal will become part of our arsenal. We'll show them why humans have always feared what waits in the deep woods." In orbit, the Zelnaga continued their preparations, unaware that below them, in the green places they mocked, humanity was preparing a kind of warfare they had never faced before. Those jungles they mock, they've never fought in anything like them. John thought about his years in special forces, about the training facilities hidden deep in those same rainforests. They see our wilderness as our weakness. It might just be our greatest strength. As he spoke, John's mind was already working on a plan. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They had told Earth exactly where they would attack, and it was the one place where humans like him had learned to become truly dangerous. The aliens had no idea what was waiting for them in those jungles. The Amazon rainforest hummed with life. Birds called, monkeys chattered, and insects buzzed. But deeper in the green world, other sounds mixed with the natural chorus. Metal clinked against metal. Voices spoke in low tones. Humans moved with purpose. Kate Nelson set the last explosive charge and covered it with leaves. The demolitions expert had spent the past week rigging the jungle to blow, not to destroy it, but to use it. Her charges were designed to topple specific trees that would create barriers and traps. "All set on the east approach," she told Lisa Carter. "Once triggered, it will create a funnel. The aliens will have only one way to go." Lisa nodded. "Good, and that one way will lead straight to Rick's kill zone." Near them, Jack Martinez was teaching a group of soldiers which plants could be used as weapons. The survival expert crushed leaves in his hands, creating a sticky paste. "This won't just stick to their armor," he explained. "It will eat through their environmental seals. I lived with native tribes here for 5 years. They've used these plants as weapons for centuries. Lisa watched her team train. In just 2 weeks, they had transformed from separate units into a unified force. Soldiers from 20 countries worked together, sharing knowledge of Earth's most dangerous environments. Progress report, she said to Jason White, who was working on communications equipment. Jason looked up from a tangle of wires and plants. Almost there. I've figured out how to use large leaves as signal amplifiers. The natural water in them actually helps boost our signal while hiding it from alien scanners. The Xel'Naga won't know what hit them, said Lisa. Far from the Amazon, Peter Garcia crawled through a vent on a Xel'Naga scout ship. The intelligence officer had been inserted 3 days ago, hidden in a supply container sent up during diplomatic exchanges. His mission? Learn everything he could about the alien forces. Peter froze as 2 aliens walked below his position. They were talking, their translator devices making their clicks and whistles into English. The ground invasion begins in 5 days, said the taller alien. The humans still debate whether to surrender. These forest regions concern me, said the second alien, pointing to a map. Our sensors show strange heat patterns deep in the vegetation. Probably just local animals. Command doesn't consider these areas strategic. We'll focus on the cities. First, Peter smiled to himself. The aliens had no idea what waited for them in those non-strategic areas. When the aliens left, Peter continued to the ship's data center. He plugged in a small device that would copy the aliens' tactical information and battle plans. What he found made his heart race. The Xel'Naga had never, not once in their 100-year conquest of the galaxy, fought in a dense jungle environment. Their tactics focused on open desert warfare and urban assault. Even better, their battle armor, while nearly impervious to bullets and energy weapons, had a critical flaw. It wasn't designed for extreme humidity. The electronics could short-circuit in very wet conditions. Back in the Amazon, Lisa gathered her officers as night fell. The training facility's central area was lit by small lights that mimicked fireflies, invisible from above. Operation Green, Venom is now active, she told them. Our intel confirms the Xel'Naga will attack in 5 days. They plan to hit major cities first, ignoring our jungle bases. She pointed to a map of Earth showing green dots in rainforests across South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. We've established 20 base camps. Each team has their orders. When the aliens focus on our cities, we'll hit them from the place. The first attacks came at dawn. Xel'Naga ships appeared over major cities worldwide. Beams of blue light shot down, turning buildings to dust. People ran screaming as alien troops landed in the streets. From the White House bunker, the president watched the devastation on multiple screens. Reports came in from around the world. New York, London, Tokyo, Beijing, all under attack. Casualties? He asked. Lower than expected, said the defense secretary. The evacuation plans worked. We got most civilians out of the target zones. On one screen, the president could see Admiral Krazoth broadcasting from his ship. The alien's voice boomed across all channels. People of Earth, your resistance is pointless. Surrender now and join the Confederation as a subject world. Continue fighting, and we will destroy you completely. The president looked at his military advisors. Is Lisa's team ready? Yes, sir. All jungle units report green status. Then let's show these aliens what Earth can do. Deep in the Congo Basin, Lieutenant Sam Porter and his squad lay motionless in the mud. They had covered themselves completely, leaving only their eyes exposed. Their body heat blended with the warm, wet ground. Their breathing matched the gentle movement of the leaves. Sam watched through a small gap in the foliage as a Xel'Naga patrol moved closer. 6 alien soldiers walked in formation, their weapons sweeping back and forth. They wore full body armor with glowing symbols on the chest plates. Their helmets had long sensors that looked like insect antennae. This area shows no signs of human technology, said one alien. Continuing patrol. Sam waited until they were directly in the kill zone. Then he made a small clicking sound with his tongue, a sound just like one of the local insects. His squad responded by making similar noises. To the aliens, it was just jungle sounds. To the humans, it was a countdown. When Sam made a final click, The ground beneath the aliens collapsed. 4 of them fell into a deep pit filled with sharpened bamboo stakes. The 2 remaining aliens spun around, firing wildly into the jungle. Sam's squad rose from the mud like ghosts. They threw small mesh nets that tangled around the aliens' sensor antennae. Blind and confused, the aliens stumbled and fell. Sam approached one fallen alien and placed a small device on its armor. The device sent an electric pulse that short-circuited the suit's systems. The alien inside thrashed, then went still as its life support failed. "Package secure," Sam said into his communication device. Moving to extraction point, his squad collected the alien weapons and communication gear, then disappeared back into the jungle. Behind them, they left 6 dead aliens and no evidence of how they had died. Similar scenes played out in jungles across the planet. In Thailand, a Naga supply convoy disappeared without a trace. In the Amazon, an alien command post went silent. In Vietnam, 3 scout ships crashed when their navigation system suddenly failed. On the Naga command ship, Admiral Krazoth received troubling reports. "We've lost contact with 12 patrol units," said Commander Vex, "all in these forest regions." "Mechanical failures," said the Admiral. "The humidity on this planet is higher than we anticipated." "Sir, I don't think so. The patterns suggest coordinated attacks." The Admiral struck the table with his fist. "By whom? Our forces control all major cities. The humans are beaten." Another officer approached nervously. "Sir, our supply route through the African sector is gone. 3 transport ships missing." Krazoth's yellow eyes narrowed. "Send in the heavy assault teams. Burn these forests if you have to. I want those supply lines open." But even as he gave the order, 5 more red alerts appeared on his command screen. All from jungle regions. All reporting the same thing. Naga forces had vanished without explanation. For the first time, a flicker of worry crossed the Admiral's face. Something was happening in those green areas he had dismissed as worthless, something he didn't understand. And in those green places, human eyes watched and waited. The real war had only just begun, as they least expect. Rick Howard checked his weapon. "How long do we wait before striking?" "Let them get comfortable," said Lisa. "Let them think they're winning. Then we show them why Earth's jungles have always been feared, even by humans." The team looked at each other with determination. In similar bases around the world, other Special Forces units were making the same preparations. The Naga thought, Earth's wild places were a weakness. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Captain Eric Walsh moved through Thailand's dense jungle like water flowing over rocks. 20 years of special operations had made the jungle his home. Behind him, 12 soldiers followed his exact path, stepping where he stepped, touching what he touched. They had been tracking an alien patrol for 3 hours. The Naga were noisy, clumsy in the thick vegetation. Their armor caught on vines. Their boots sank in mud. They cursed in their clicking language as insects found gaps in their suits. Eric held up his fist. His team froze. Ahead, the aliens had stopped to rest in a small clearing. 6 soldiers and a command officer. The officer removed his helmet, revealing gray-purple skin covered in sweat. The jungle heat was clearly painful for the desert creatures. Eric nodded to Olivia Parker, the team's tech specialist. She slipped forward and placed something on a large, waxy leaf. It looked like green slime, taken from a plant they had passed earlier. She whispered into her radio. "Organic disruptor ready. This sap will eat through their filter systems in seconds." The plan was simple. The team had spent days preparing this section of jungle. Every leaf, vine, and tree was part of their weapon system. Now they would spring the trap. Eric made a bird call. His team melted deeper into the foliage. Then he threw a small stone into the clearing. The alien officer looked up, alert. He barked orders. 2 soldiers moved toward the sound, weapons ready. They passed under the leaf where Olivia had placed the sap. Drops fell onto their helmets, sizzling on contact. The aliens screamed as the natural acid burned through their breathing filters. They tore at their helmets, exposing themselves to Earth's air. Within seconds, they collapsed, unable to breathe the oxygen-rich atmosphere. The other aliens jumped up, firing wildly into the jungle. Their energy weapons cut through trees and brush, starting small fires that quickly died in the damp air. "You are surrounded," Eric said through a speaker hidden in the trees. His voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. "Surrender now!" "Humans!" the officer shouted. "Show yourselves and fight with honor!" Eric smiled. The aliens still didn't understand. In the jungle, there was no honorable combat. There was only survival. Vines suddenly whipped down from the canopy, wrapping around 2 more aliens. The vines weren't natural. Olivia had spent days weaving them with conductive fibers. When they touched the aliens' metal armor, electrical currents surged through the suits. The aliens jerked and fell, their systems fried. Only the officer and 1 soldier remained now. They stood back to back, weapons pointed outward. "What is this magic?" the officer hissed. "How can plants fight?" Eric's team closed in, still unseen. They threw small pods that burst into clouds of yellow dust, pollen from a local flower. Harmless to humans, but sticky enough to clog the aliens' visual sensors. Blind and terrified, the last soldier fired randomly, hitting his own officer. The officer fell with a scream. The soldier threw down his weapon. "Demon jungle!" he cried. "The plants are alive! They hate us!" Eric finally stepped from the shadows. Covered in mud and leaves, he barely looked human. His team appeared around him, equally camouflaged. "The jungle doesn't hate you," Eric said as they secured the alien. "It's just on our side." Across the radio network, reports came in from other teams. In Brazil, a human squad had captured an alien command vehicle without firing a shot, using similar tactics. In Congo, 3 alien dropships had been taken. In Vietnam, an entire alien base had fallen to jungle fighters they never saw. Lisa Carter's voice came through Eric's earpiece. "All teams report. Operation Green Venom is proceeding ahead of schedule. The Xel'Naga are pulling back from jungle regions worldwide." Eric looked at their captive alien soldier, who stared at the humans with a mixture of fear and awe. "They're learning," Eric told Lisa. "The hard way." In orbit, Admiral Krazoth faced a growing crisis. Report Lisa Carter stood in the underground command center deep beneath the Amazon rainforest. Around her, screens showed the progress of Operation Green Venom. Green dots represented human teams. Red dots showed known alien positions. There were fewer red dots every hour. "It's time," Lisa said to her officers. "Begin the coordinated strike." Across the room, Communications Officer Jason White sent the coded message to all jungle bases worldwide. Anaconda. In that moment, on 6 continents, human special forces units emerged from hiding. After weeks of small ambushes and strategic strikes, this would be the first major counterattack. In the Congo, Sam Porter led his team toward a Xel'Naga forward base. The aliens had cleared a section of jungle and set up energy shields around their position. They thought they were safe from the jungle ghosts that had been haunting them. They cut down the trees to feel safer, Sam told his team. That was their second mistake. Their first was coming to Earth. His soldiers carried special rifles designed by Earth scientists based on captured alien technology. The bullets were made from hardened jungle resins that could pass through the energy shields undetected. On Sam's signal, Marine sniper Michelle Ryan took position. She had painted her rifle with mud and leaves to hide its heat signature. Through her scope, she could see Xel'Naga officers in the center of the base. "Target acquired," she whispered into her radio. Michelle fired 3 times. 3 alien officers fell. The special ammunition confused alien sensors, making it impossible to tell where the shots came from. Panic spread through the alien base. Soldiers ran in all directions, firing blindly into the jungle. Sam's team used the confusion to breach the perimeter. "Remember," Sam told his squad, "we need their command codes. Secure the central building." Across the world, similar attacks happened simultaneously. In Thailand, Eric Walsh's team captured an alien communications hub. In Malaysia, a human squad disabled an alien dropship. In Brazil, another team raided an alien weapons depot. The largest operation was led by Lisa herself. Her target, the main Xel'Naga headquarters, in what had once been the heart of the Amazon. The aliens had built a massive compound there, cutting down miles of rainforest. It was meant to be the center of their Earth operations after they won the war. Now it would be their greatest defeat. Lisa's team moved silently through underground tunnels dug beneath the alien base. The tunnels had been there for decades, part of Earth's secret defense network. "Ready on all points," came the reports from her team leaders. Lisa checked her weapon. "Begin Phase 1. Around the alien base, hidden devices activated. They sent out electromagnetic pulses designed to match the aliens' shield frequencies. For 3 crucial seconds, all alien technology stopped working. In those 3 seconds, Lisa's teams burst from hidden entrances throughout the base. The surprised aliens had no time to react. Some tried to fight hand-to-hand, but they were not trained for close combat like humans were. Lisa led the assault on the central command building. Her team moved room by room, securing sections with practiced efficiency. In the main control room, they found what they were looking for: the alien central database. It contained everything: fleet positions, weapon specifications, communication codes. "Download everything," Lisa ordered her tech team. As the data transferred, Lisa went to the window. Outside, the battle was almost over. Most aliens had surrendered when their weapons failed. Those who resisted had been quickly overwhelmed. "Major Carter," called one of her soldiers, "you need to see this." On a large screen was Admiral Krazoth, broadcasting from his ship in orbit. His yellow eyes were wide with shock. "How is this possible?" the alien leader was saying to his commanders. "They are attacking everywhere at once from these worthless jungles." Lisa smiled as she watched. The Admiral was finally learning what humans had known for centuries: underestimate Earth's wilderness at your peril. "Send a message to all teams," Lisa told Jason. "Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2. The time had come to take the fight beyond Earth, to the stars themselves. From ground forces were disturbing. Soldiers spoke of jungles that seemed alive and hostile, of humans who appeared and disappeared like ghosts, of ambushes where the environment itself became a weapon. "These are just trees and mud," he shouted at his commanders. "How can we be losing to primitives hiding in plants?" But the reports kept coming, and for the first time, the mighty Xel'Naga felt something new: fear of the green places. Colonel Dan Murphy looked at the captured Xel'Naga shuttle. Earth engineers had spent 3 days modifying it, adding human technology to alien systems. It didn't look pretty, but it would work. "Are you sure this will fly?" he asked the chief. "Engineer, it'll fly," she said. "The question is whether their mothership will let us dock before they realize we're not aliens." Dan nodded. His team of 20 soldiers waited nearby. All were veterans of the jungle campaigns. All had volunteered for this mission knowing they might not return. Lisa Carter approached carrying a metal case. "The package is ready," she said. "Once planted in their life support systems, the effect will be impressive." Dan looked at the case with a mixture of awe and concern. Inside were specially engineered spores developed from Amazon fungi. In the controlled environment of the alien ship, they would grow at incredible speed, overwhelming systems and disabling weapons. "Biological warfare," Dan said quietly. "Taking the jungle to space." "They wanted our jungles," Lisa replied. "Now, they'll get a taste of what makes them special." The mission launched at midnight. 5 modified alien shuttles, each carrying 20 human soldiers, left Earth's atmosphere. They transmitted stolen Xel'Naga identification codes as they approached the massive mothership. Dan's team was tense as their shuttle neared a docking bay. If the aliens detected the deception now, they would be destroyed instantly. "Incoming. Transmission," said the pilot. "They're asking for verbal confirmation." Dan nodded to his communications officer, who played a recorded alien voice they had captured during the ground assaults. It gave the correct authorization code. There was a tense pause. Then, "Docking permission granted." The shuttle slid into the alien ship's massive bay. Through the viewport, Dan could see dozens of alien vessels and hundreds of Zelnaga moving about. None seemed suspicious of the new arrival. "Remember," Dan told his team as they prepared to disembark, "we move fast and quiet. Just like in the jungle, plant the packages in the life support hubs and get back to the shuttle." The team moved out wearing stolen alien armor over their combat gear. From a distance, they looked like Zelnaga soldiers. Up close, the deception wouldn't work, so they stuck to service corridors and maintenance shafts. In other parts of the mothership, the 4 other human teams were doing the same, heading for weapons systems, engines, and command centers. Dan's HFY team reached the first life support hub without incident. They planted the spore package and activated it. Within minutes, small green tendrils began spreading across the alien machinery. "First package deployed," Dan reported through his secure communicator. "Moving to secondary target." But as they approached the central life support system, an alarm sounded. Somewhere, one of the human teams had been discovered. "We've been made," said Dan. "Double time to the target." They ran now, abandoning stealth. Alien soldiers appeared in the corridor ahead. Dan's team opened fire with weapons designed to work inside the ship without causing hull breaches. They fought their way through to the central life support hub. 3 of Dan's soldiers fell in the battle. The rest made it to the target. "Plant the package," Dan ordered as he fired at pursuing aliens. His second-in-command placed the largest spore container directly in the main air circulation system and activated it. Immediately, a cloud of green spores billowed out, entering the ship's ventilation. Alarms blared across the entire mothership. On the command deck, Admiral Krazoth watched in horror as green readings spread across his ship's systems display. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Unknown biological agent spreading through all decks," reported a terrified officer. "It's growing, on everything, consuming power lines, blocking sensors." Dan and his remaining team members fought their way back toward their shuttle. Around them, the ship was transforming. Admiral Krazoth stood in the conference room on Earth. His once proud uniform was torn and stained. His yellow eyes, once filled with contempt, now showed respect and fear. 6 months had passed since the EIRE failed invasion. Across the table sat the Earth delegation. Heather Collins, Earth's chief diplomat, led the talks. Beside her sat Lisa Carter, John Miller, and representatives from nations around the world. "The terms are simple," Heather said. "The Zelnaga Confederation will recognize Earth as a sovereign planet. All human prisoners will be returned, and you will never again attempt to take our resources." Krazoth nodded slowly. "Agreed. In return, you will share your jungle warfare knowledge with our forces. We will share knowledge of how to work with natural environments, not how to destroy them," Heather clarified. "Your people need to understand that ecosystems are not obstacles to be removed, but resources to be protected." The Admiral looked down at the table. "My people have much to learn from yours. We have conquered 12 worlds but never faced defeat until we met humans and their jungles." The signing ceremony was broadcast across Earth and to the remaining Zelnaga ships in orbit. The invasion that was supposed to take Earth in days had become the first defeat in the Confederation's 100-year history of conquest. After the ceremony, Lisa Carter walked with John Miller through the rebuilt section of the Amazon rainforest. Trees and plants were growing back in areas the aliens had cleared. Earth's healing power was remarkable. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" John asked. Lisa shook her head. "When they first arrived, I thought we were finished. Their technology was so advanced. But they didn't understand Earth," John said. "They saw our forests as primitive, as weakness." "Their biggest mistake," Lisa agreed. They reached a small clearing where a new structure stood. It was the Earth Zelnaga Training Center. Here, alien soldiers would learn about Earth's ecosystems alongside human fighters. It was part of the peace agreement, cultural exchange through military training. Inside, Sam Porter was showing a group of nervous Zelnaga soldiers how to move quietly through undergrowth. The aliens struggled, their naturally heavy footsteps, crushing plants and making noise. "Lighter," Sam instructed. "Feel the ground before you put your weight down." One alien, trying hard to imitate Sam's movements, managed to take 3 steps without making a sound. Sam nodded in approval. They're learning, Lisa said. In another room, Kate Nelson taught aliens about earth plants. This one can heal burns, she explained, holding up a leaf. This one can purify water. The jungle isn't just a battlefield, it's a pharmacy, a food source, a home. The aliens took notes, fascinated by this new way of seeing plants not as obstacles but as resources. 3 years later, Admiral Krazoth returned to Earth. No longer a military leader, he now served as the Zelnaga ambassador to Earth. His shuttle landed in a small clearing in the Amazon, where Lisa Carter waited to greet him. "Major Carter," he said, bowing slightly. "It is good to see you again." "It's General Carter now," she corrected with a smile. "Welcome back to Earth." Together, they walked into the rainforest. The Admiral moved differently now, carefully, respectfully. He had spent 2 years studying Earth's ecosystems and had become the leading voice for environmental protection in the Confederation. "Thanks to what we learned here," he told Lisa, "we've begun restoring forests on 3 planets we previously stripped. Life is returning to worlds we nearly destroyed." They stopped at a massive tree. Around its trunk, a vine with brilliant blue flowers climbed toward the sunlight. "Beautiful," Krazoth said softly. "On my world, we have nothing like this. We thought our deserts made us strong, but your forests made you stronger." Lisa looked up at the green canopy above them. Sunlight filtered through countless leaves, creating patterns on the forest floor. "Not just stronger," she said. "Wiser." The Admiral nodded. He understood now what his people had missed when they first came to Earth. That true strength came not from conquering nature, but from learning to live within it. The jungle, once mocked by galactic forces, had become the teacher of worlds. Green growths spread across walls and floors. Vines wrapped around control panels. Alien soldiers fell gasping as spores filled their breathing apparatus. "This is Murphy," Dan reported as his team reached the shuttle. "Primary package deployed. The jungle has invaded their ship." On Earth, Lisa Carter received the message and smiled. The aliens who had mocked Earth's jungles were now trapped in one of their own making, 20,000 feet long and filled with deadly life from the planet they had underestimated.